Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Mortimer Jordan head baseball coach Shayne Carnes. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome back, Coach.
Glad to be here.
All right, so over the last 2 weeks, had a little bit of mixed results. Your overall record right now stands at 15-14. But let's talk about some of the games going back to spring break.
Okay.
How about that? When you left here, you were heading to the beach, and a lot of spring break baseball. On Friday the 21st and Saturday the 22nd, you played Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. You lost both of those. Tell us a little bit about it.
Two very good games. We start out at 5 o'clock Friday night at Gulf Shores at the Sportplex, playing Gulf Shores, and we score 3 runs in the top of the first, come in, give up 6 in the bottom half, and then our kids respond and score 4 in the top of the second. So it's kind of back and forth. We had the lead. I think it was 9-8.
Wow.
Going into the last inning.
The bats were hot that night.
Going into the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting a 2-out hit, score 2 runs, so that put them up. And then we come in and score 1 in the top of the 7th to tie it. And they ended up scoring 1 in the bottom of the 7th to win that game, 11-10. And so that was a tough loss.
Right.
And then turn around, you got to get up and go play another good team Saturday morning in Orange Beach. And we're up 1-0 in the 5th, 6th inning. They score a run and tie it. We go all the way to the 9th inning. We got a runner at first. Guy hits the ball in the gap. Just not able to score on that one. And so they come in at the bottom of the 9th inning. They end up scoring a run, and we get walked off. Essentially 2 days in a row, which is really tough. But
yes,
2 good teams. I think we played really well in both of those games. Was very proud of our kids for their efforts. So that's in that situation. The other team just won. You didn't necessarily lose. So proud of our guys for the way they played.
Right. So then you turn right around and you play in the Gulf Coast Classic, and it was played at Coastal Alabama Community College. So it gives them a little taste of that college experience there.
Well, so we were supposed to go there Monday, and that's where we got rained out.
Oh, that's right.
We got rained out. So we ended up playing Tuesday at Alberta.
Okay.
Alberta's they've got probably the best pitching staff collectively that we've seen this year. There's the guy that started was right at 90 miles an hour, and then 2 upper 80s guys followed him and finished up by their big tall first baseman, and he's probably 92 to 94. So it was a good opportunity for our kids to see some quality pitching. We had our moments there where things were good, things were not good, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a lack of, it wasn't like they were scared. We just, they threw it, and we didn't hit it as great, and they made some plays on us defensively. And so that was Tuesday, and Wednesday we drove over to Fairhope, and we played Ramsey. And,
wow. Okay.
So beat them 11-0, played well, pitched well, had got a chance to play a lot of guys, and that was good. And then Thursday, because we got rained out on Monday, we made up our Monday game on Thursday.
Right.
And we ended up going back to Orange Beach and playing there, which is a great facility. So, our kids were excited to go back over there and play. And we played a team called Har-Bear. It's Har-Ber, but they're out of Arkansas. 2-time state champion the past 2 years. And so, quality program there. And, we're 2-0 in the 6th inning. We make an error. They hit a double with the bases loaded. And next thing you know, it's 6-0. But the game was a lot closer than that, and that one inning was the only inning that they scored in. So, kudos to our defense and our pitchers.
Gotcha. Good deal. And then you came back to town, played Clay Chalkville there for the first game, and won that one 6-4, and then turned right around. That was on a Tuesday. On Thursday, you played them again, a doubleheader, and won both of those. Tell us about those games.
So Clay Chalkville and I are both in 3-team areas, and so we each have a bye week. Well, we played Jasper the week before we went to the beach, and they played their area series the week before spring break. And so they happened to be off the week after spring break like us. And so I talked to Coach Robinson. We had been in the area together the past couple of years. And just in talking with him, I was like, hey, let's set up a mock area series, and that way, when we come back at spring break, it kind of trains us into, gets us back into that thought process. And he was all for it. So that's the way we set it up, and we treated it, and they did too, like it was an area series. So it was good practice. Clay's got a good team. They were solid defensively. The first two guys that we saw, both their starters on the game on Tuesday and the first game on Thursday, those guys were really good, and they swing the bats well. So it was a good test for our guys, and fortunately we found a way to win 3 games.
Right. So that kind of catches us up. You've got some games coming up, and we're going to talk about those right after this message.
Okay.
PrepsNet Coach Speak with Mortimer Jordan High School head baseball coach Shayne Carnes is proudly sponsored by Campus Traditions. Go Blue Devils!
And we're back. Coach, you've got Coleman this week.
Yes.
You've got one game at their place tomorrow, followed by a game, or actually a doubleheader on Thursday here. What do you expect to see from them?
Well, so obviously we played Jasper earlier, and we were able to take 2 out of 3 from them. So we kind of have an idea of what Jasper's like. Jasper goes up and plays them last week, and it's a 1-0 ball game. Coleman wins on Tuesday. The game on Thursday got a little bit out of hand. So just from what I know about Coleman in general, and from the little bit of scouting that I've done, they're very solid. They're going to play hard. They're going to do things the right way. I think they've got a couple of decent arms, that kids that know how to pitch. So we're going to have to be disciplined at the plate, make sure we're swinging balls in the strike zone, and have competitive at bats and be able to stack them on top of one another. As far as on the mound, I think our pitchers are good enough to get their hitters out. And I say that we can't leave the ball in the center of the plate, because if you do, good hitters are going to take advantage of that. But we've got to play good defense, and we've got to eliminate the walks. If we do those 2 things, I think we have a chance to go up there and get a result that we would like.
Good deal. So your very last game of the regular season is upon us. It is next Monday against Pinson Valley. What do you expect to see from them?
So we played Pinson earlier in the year. They're solid defensively. The kid we saw on the mound was a mid-80s guy. They didn't hit it that well, but that was early in the season. So I'm expecting them to be much improved at the plate. That's going to be senior night for us, so it's going to be an opportunity for us to recognize our seniors in front of their parents and their grandparents, and our Mortimer Jordan baseball family and our community. So we're excited to do that. Having done this for a really long time, and
it's always a special night.
It is, but as I've gotten older, the one thing that I've learned is, man, this time these kids come in as 9th graders, and they're not as smart as they are when they're seniors, and they're not as mature. And over that 4-year period, you just see them grow from boys into young men, and that's always rewarding. And being here for as long as I have, for 19 years, it feels like every year just goes by faster. And then these kids, they start, and the next thing you know, they're graduating and they're moving on to that next chapter in their life. And so it's the circle of life, and it's something that you want for those kids, but you're gonna miss them, and it's
bittersweet.
It's never easy, and it's year after year after year, you're saying goodbye to a bunch of kids that you just love and that you've watched grow up. So
for sure,
it's a good night though. But we do a good job. Our dugout club and everybody involved does a good job of recognizing our seniors and kind of send them out on a high note.
Okay. Good deal. So congratulations are in order, because you've already made the playoffs, which is fantastic. The first game begins on April 18th. What is your situation involving the playoffs?
So with Coleman, sweeping Jasper in the area games last week, that puts Jasper at 1-3. We're 1-1, and Coleman's sitting there at 2-0. So when we play this week, for us to be the area champion, we would have to win on Tuesday, and we have to win the first game on Thursday, because those are the area games. That would make us the area champion and Coleman the 2. If we were to lose either Tuesday or Thursday in that first game, then we would wind up being the 2. The worst
Right.
we can finish is 1 and 3 if we were to get swept, and
Right.
that would put us with the same record as Jasper. And we won that tiebreaker game against them before
already
spring
done.
break, so that's
Got it.
decided. We will play. If we win the area, we would host the first round. If
Okay.
we're the runner-up, we'll be on the road.
Right.
And we're going to match up with, it's either going to be Hazel Green or Buckhorn, depending
Okay.
on where we finish and how they finish. So
Okay.
by Thursday, we should know, whether we're playing at home or whether we're on the road and where we're going.
Right.
So,
Good deal. So you've played a number of games since we last talked. Who's playing well right now?
well, I got my stats right here, so I'll
good.
take a look at these right quick. Braylon Disco's pretty much been. I mean, he's hitting 342.
Solid.
He's been locked in for us
That's
at the plate
fantastic.
all year long. Matthew Lucas is a guy that has really, improved this season. He went from not being a starter at the beginning of the year to earning the starting spot to.
Nice.
He's hitting 326 right now, and so
That's
for
good.
him to come in and have that kind of success offensively has been great.
Yes.
John Owen Dean's hitting 313. Hunter Horsley is hitting 300. Tanner Rice is hitting 299. So
Got
those
some
guys,
hot bats. Yeah.
those guys offensively have done well. Our team batting average is 275, which we've gotten better at the plate as the year has went along.
That's
so
good.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what you want. And on the mound wise, Jackson Woodruff has been stellar in relief. He's got a 1.5 ERA, 3-0 on the year. So been very proud of him for what he's been able to do on the mound. And
Sure.
our pitchers have every time they go out they compete. And
Sure.
we face some good teams. We haven't played the best of defense at times, and they've had to battle through a lot of adversity. But the one thing I can say as a coach that you want to see from your guys from day one when you get out here in January to the last day of the season is you want to see improvement.
Sure.
And from where we were at in January to that first week, February 15th, when we started playing, to now, we are a much better team. Guys have improved. We've improved defensively. We've improved on the mound, and we've improved at the plate. So I feel like we're trending in the right direction, and we're playing pretty good baseball right now. So we want to keep that momentum going into this last area series and into the playoffs. So very proud of the guys. We started off with a few wins, then we had a little bit of a losing streak, and it's kind of back and forth, and you're below 500. But they've stayed the course. They've played hard. They've believed in what we're asking them to do, and it's just been a fun year. It's been frustrating at times for them, frustrating for me, and I'm sure frustrating for our parents because when you don't feel like you're playing your best and you get beat, that's kind of hard to swallow, right?
Yes.
And that was some of the games we lost earlier, we just didn't play well. And not to take anything away from any of the other teams we're playing, but I really do feel like we have grown and we've improved. And so very happy with where we're at right now.
Okay, good deal. Well, Coach, that's our show. We
Okay.
appreciate your time. And as always, we appreciate yours. Join us again in a couple more weeks for a playoff version of Mortimer Jordan's Coach Speak.